7 days, 168 hours, 10,080 minutes. This is how long you have before the world as you know it will end.
This is the way the world ends.
Or at least until you respawn into next week. It's up to you to play the games that you bought, but there are some things that you should do first. You sleep, you work, you commute, which easily takes up at least 75% of your day. You play with your kids, you hang out with your wife, you talk about life, and you game. There's only one problem. What do you play? Choice number 1. You just bought a game on sale, and how can you pass that up? You could at least play the intro, right? I mean, why waste money? Choice number 2. You could keep playing the game that you've invested 35 hours into already, but you kind of need a mental break from that game. But if you don't move on, how will you get to the other 42 games in your backlog that are easily 25 to 50 hours long? Choice number 3. You could play a multiplayer game, but oh yeah, since you don't have time to practice and get good, you get dumped on repeatedly. Die again. You eventually make your decision knowing that your yes to one is a no to your other massive backlog. There just isn't enough time to play all these games you buy. But ironically, the lack of time is actually the key to your freedom. Let me explain. You've heard the term less is more, right? The less time you have to game, the more valuable your game session. The human mind wants either what it can't have or what is a challenge to get. So when you have responsibilities all day that prevent you from playing as long as you really want, you tend to have more fun than if you had vacation all week and you exclusively played your game. But here's the thing. Do you really want more time to play your video games? You would be free to finally clear your backlog, but then what? You'd realize that there aren't a whole lot of games coming out in 2024. At least compared to 2023's massive year. Many people buy more games than they can realistically play. And if the goal were to simply play them all, you would need to be immortal. You think what you really want is to have all these fun experiences that only these games can give you. You see a game get universal acclaim from every website and content creator out there, as well as have your friends validate it. It's this generation's Skyrim, and it's all over from there. Forget the game you were just playing, you're picking up this game and playing it day one now. Will you ever finish the game you just dropped? What you just experienced is FOMO. FOMO can make you buy games that maybe you like, maybe you don't, but you're in the in crowd who owns one of the best reviewed games of the year, and that is a status symbol. FOMO can also make you make purchase decisions on discounted games. A game from your childhood you missed out on or wouldn't mind experiencing for the first time in years goes on sale for as low as $2. There's nothing wrong with buying this game for so low, but how long will you realistically play it for? How many other games have you bought for a low price only to play for an hour or two and to think, I got my time out of it? Pretty soon you realize you have dozens of these games and you're only ankle deep in each one of them. You continue in one game only to forget the story or even how to play another. And that compounds when you have multiple devices. If you had all the time in the world to finish these, you would eventually get bored and look for another hobby to get into. Instead, when our time is limited for playing video games, it means we have to choose what to spend our time on, and the choice of yes to one and no to the other, believe it or not, actually makes our sessions more enjoyable. You see the value of something like money, right? What drives the value? It's scarcity. So it is with our time. So what do? So you have a single-player action RPG that takes upwards of 60 hours to beat, and you only have an hour or two to play most nights. Some nights you have more, some nights you have less. Some you have none at all because adult responsibilities, kids, or family, or even, you're just too tired from the day. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. In your plan, a helpful way to stay on course is to track your games. There are apps. Most phones have a native notes app. You could even use a spreadsheet or just your old noggin. The bottom line is, know where you're spending your time. When it comes game time, stick to one game and one side game. If you have multiple consoles, maybe stick to one or two main games. Going deep into one game allows you to enjoy your game than if you were to play multiple from on the surface. When you stick to a game plan, you might think of it as being restricted. Why wouldn't I play anything other than what I'm playing now? Don't do this. Instead, think of sticking to your game plan as being free from FOMO. Free from needing to have the latest and greatest. Free from needing to lock on that price on for later. Trust me, there are always sales. This needing to have everything is like a drug and can become an addiction. The game you are enjoying right now is a bird in the hand, and it's worth two in the bush.
It would be worth two in the bush.
Really?
Being disciplined in what you play and sticking to your game plan will ultimately bring you the most satisfaction in your gaming life. Because ultimately, our lives don't revolve around our games. Our games allow us to escape reality for a little while, just like a show, movie, or even a book would. It's just a different format. So what is your game plan? Share yours with the busy gamers who are talking about this very thing in the comment section below. Are you playing a game from 2024, like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Are you playing something from the blockbuster year of 2023? If you watch this, you are probably a parent who likes to enjoy games instead of watching TV. If you like this video, watch the one where I talk about how to balance parenting and gaming. And I'll catch you on the next one.